Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you will be fine and in good health. As you all know that we have started chapter 2, that is making of Pakistan, and in our previous lecture we studied few of the topics. Now in our today's lecture we'll cover three more topics. You can see Shimla Conference 1945, General Elections 1945-46, Muslim League Legislators Convention 1946. These are from page 27 till page 31. First of all, we will start with Shimla Conference 1945. As we know that after the failure of Cripps mission, All India National Congress started forcing the British government to leave India, and for that purpose Gandhi also launched two major movements as Quit India and Civil Disobedience. He forced people to cut off from courts and offices. He held a number of meetings and processions to pressurize the British government. Now, at that time, Lord Weber he announced a call for conference that we discussed in our previous lecture. The conference began in Shimla on 24th June 1945 and lasted till 14th July 1945. Shimla Conference was actually a meeting between the Viceroy of India, Lord Beville, and the major political leaders at Shimla. Now, the members of various political parties were invited to attend the conference. Muslim League was represented by Quaid-e-Azam, Liaquat Ali Khan, Khwaja Nazimuddin, Sardar Abdul Rab Nishtar, Sir Muhammad Asadullah, and Hussain Imam. The Congress representatives were Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Khizr Hayat, Dr. Khan Sahib, Pandit Nehru, Baldev Singh, and many others. Other than these, chief ministers of all the provinces, representatives of unionist and other political parties attended the conference. All the parties were having high expectations while attending the conference. Congress leaders were pleased that now they will get the opportunity to form government. But before that, they already declared that they will not accept any demand for partition. When conference started in Viceroy's Defense Council, there was a deadlock over the Muslim League's demand that all the five Muslim members of Executive Council will be nominated or elected by Muslim League. This was Muslim League's demand. Then we see that in this conference, Congress wanted to appoint Abul Kalam Azad on one of the Muslim seats, but Qaid firmly said that Muslim League is the representative for Muslims only. But the Congress denied Muslim League's claim of being the sole representative of Muslims. Now see what happened? The Viceroy, he also tried to convince Quaid-e-Azam to nominate Khizr Hayat, who was the Chief Minister of Punjab and head of the Unionist Party. But Quaid-e-Azam simply refused. After all these discussions, Quaid-e-Azam declared that this was all done to entrap Muslim League. He also said that if we had accepted the plan, we would never succeed in achieving freedom. Qaid's point of view was 100% correct because this was proved in the upcoming elections that the Muslim casted vote for Muslim League and they rejected Congress, Unionist Party and other Muslim religious parties. Now, in the end, nobody agreed to each other's viewpoint as Qaid took strong stand and the conference failed to achieve any output and so ended on 14th July 1945. This was all about Shimla Conference. Now we move to our second topic, that is General Elections 1945-46. The Second World War finally came to an end in August 1945. Labour Party came to power with clear majority in general elections in England. This new government definitely gave some new instructions to the Viceroy of India, that is to Lord Wavell. So on 21st August 1945, he announced that central and provincial legislature elections will be held in the coming winter. Hearing this, all the political parties announced to contest the elections. Now we move to the manifestos of political parties. What is manifesto? Manifesto is actually the policy or aim publicly declared by the political parties, especially before the elections. Now, what was the manifesto of Congress? The policy or manifesto of Congress was that subcontinent will get freedom as a single unit and no plan of partition would be acceptable to Congress. And they declared themselves as the only representative of all the communities of the subcontinent. Now, as far as the manifesto of Muslim League was concerned, it was totally opposite to that. Qaid affirmed that the general elections will prove the position of Muslim League. If the Muslims voted in favor of Muslim League, that means they wanted Pakistan. Else, the demand for Pakistan would be considered as rejected. Now, Muslim League, they also claim that they were the only representative of Muslims, although some other Muslim parties were also there. Muslim League wanted the partition of subcontinent as was given in Pakistan resolution. Now we come to another main point regarding the election campaign. When we talk about the first point, that is tour of Congress leaders, the Congress leaders toured all over the subcontinent to launch huge election campaign. They also wanted to annoy Muslim League at any cost. Number two, alliance. Alliance means to join some political party for mutual benefit. So Congress had also election alliance with few parties like you can see Unionist, Ehrar, Jamiatul Ulama Hind and other Muslim parties. They just wanted to create hindrance in Muslim League's way. Third point, you can see then tour of Muslim League leaders. These elections were very important for Muslim League, so definitely all the Muslim leaders toured all over the subcontinent. At that time, Qaid-e-Azam also made tours although he was seriously ill. He also wanted to aware Muslims the need of the time. As a result of this, many Muslim leaders joined Muslim League and so the party became more popular day by day. Now we come to the fourth point, that was the challenge to Congress. And that was the challenge which was given by Qaid-e-Azam. Qaid-e-Azam challenged the Congress openly that they will prove their demand for Pakistan in elections and that Muslims of subcontinent will not be satisfied until they get Pakistan. The Muslim League workers spread their message in every corner of the country. Now, students, you can see, last but not the least, the enthusiastic slogans. Those were heard everywhere in the subcontinent. बन के रहेगा पाकिस्तान, लेके रहेंगे पाकिस्तान, पाकिस्तान का मतलब क्या, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह. Then our next topic, what was the result of the elections? Definitely, that was a very serious issue. The Muslim voters shattered the Congress claim that it was the only and sole representative of all the Indian people. Election results, according to Nehru, proved that virtually subcontinent is now divided into two. Coming to the result of central legislature elections, these were held on the basis of separate electorates. Elections were held in December 1945. 30 seats were reserved for Muslims and they captured all 30 seats. They got 100% success in central legislature elections. And at provincial level, as you can very well see, while at provincial level, 492 seats were reserved for Muslims and they occupied 428 seats, which was a great achievement. This result showed that now nobody on earth could stop the creation of a separate homeland, that is Pakistan. Now, coming to our last topic of today's lecture, Muslim League Legislators Convention 1946. What do we mean by convention? Convention means a meeting or conference, especially between members of a political party. So a meeting was held on 19th April 1946 in Delhi between the elected representatives of central as well as provincial legislatures. Qaid-e-Azam was the president of the convention. In his speech, he clearly said, "No power on earth can prevent us from achieving our goals. We will be successful by virtue of hope, courage, and force of faith." He further added, this convention further emphatically declares that any attempt to impose a constitution on a united India basis or to force any interim arrangement at the center, contrary to the Muslim League demand, will leave the Muslims with no alternative but to resist such imposition by all possible means for their survival and national existence. Then you have to see that what was the result of Qaid's address. As a result of Qaid's address in the convention, not only Muslim League members but also the cabinet mission members, they started thinking that making of Pakistan is now absolutely necessary. After that, we see resolution by Mr. Hussain Shaheed. Now, in Muslim League Legislators Convention, a resolution was moved by Mr. Hussain Shaheed Sohrawardy. Hussain Shaheed was a Bengali politician and a lawyer who served as the fifth Prime Minister of Pakistan and served from September 1956 to October 1957. A resolution was moved by him and it was accepted by all the members. The main point of this resolution was it declared that the zones comprising Bengal and Assam in the northeast and Punjab, northwest, frontier province, that is KPK, Sindh and Balochistan in northwest of India, namely Pakistan zones, where the Muslims are in a dominant majority, be constituted into a sovereign independent state and that an unequivocal undertaking be given to implement the establishment of Pakistan without delay. So, before the ending of convention, what happened? All the members who were present there, they took an oath to struggle and sacrifice for Pakistan. Dear students, I hope you all have understood this. This was all about today's lecture, that is till page 31. Now you can see few additional questions which are given here, and these are related to our today's lecture. Please students note down these on your book for your convenience. First question, name the participants of Shimla Conference. Why Shimla Conference ended up in failure? What was Qaid's declaration about Wavell Plan? Write a short note on election campaign. Write down the slogans of Muslim League. Write briefly about the results of central legislature and provincial legislature elections. What were the wordings of Qaid's speech while addressing to Muslim League Legislators Convention? Which resolution was passed by Mr. Hussain Shaheed in 1946? This was all about today's lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.